Okay, so I'm going to show how our character creation tool works for generating the NFPs. So in Daz Studio, the first thing you do is you load, we have like a default scene that we start from, and this is our Genesis 8.1 character. So first thing you do is add a character randomizer, and it brings up all the characters currently installed on the machine. So for this example, I'm going to just select a couple characters. It needs at least 2, so it knows to cycle through them. And then after that appears, you want to add material choices, and this is how we change the eye color. So I'll go to the vampire character for now, just to get some cool eye colors and grab some of the more interesting ones here, just so they stand out. And then you go ahead and we're going to add some hair. This is loading the database of products that are currently installed, and all these products plus the different texture versions are used as the traits for the project. And so for this example, we're only going to have a couple randomizers, but in the actual project, we have up to 18 or 20 in some scenes. So again, we're just going to grab a couple hairs. And what's cool about the UI is you can then go in and you can collect all the color variants. We want to turn off the shininess and stuff because those options you're not really going to be able to tell. And then same thing for this one. So we get varying hair colors. You just tag those off, and I accidentally turned that one off, so we'll turn that back on. Okay, so now they'll get hair. And now we're going to put outfits because we don't want naked NFPs. And this obviously takes a little bit longer just because there's so many products. So it takes a bit, but once this is set up, you can run it multiple times, which we do with generating these characters. So we're going to run to wardrobe. And then we're just going to pick a couple outfits when they load. Okay, cool. And so we'll take this one and this one. And same thing as the hair, you'd see your texture variants. These are all just the default materials, but if there's alternates, those would all show up. So then you hit collect all and you collect those. All right, perfect. Well, that's good. And you can see in the base scene, nothing's changing because we haven't started the process yet. So now we're gonna add poses. And we had this pose pack built just for this project that breaks the poses up into 2 pieces. So we'll go to poses. And we want to first load all the head tilts so that the characters will randomly tilt their heads in different directions. So even if the expressions are the same, there's a slight bit of variance to give it more of a natural feeling. So we'll just scroll down and find the ones called with the head tilt. And so in this My Attitude, you'll see the head tilt ones. We'll just grab a couple of those. Okay. And now we need the actual expression pieces. So same process. And this time we want the ones not called head tilt. We want the actual expressions. So we'll grab a couple of those. Great. And then last but not least, we need what kind of gives the collection a consistent overall visual style beyond the fact that, you know, it's the base traits being remixed is Cake One's pop art click and render. It's a series of different background colors and lighting and shading setups that really give the character some interest. And then so you got to turn off show only compatible because we have a character selected so that this all works, but these lightings aren't character compatible. So you turn that off, they all show up, and now that's the last of the segment. And then, you know, we need to go make sure our render settings are set up. because whatever render settings you set are what's going to get saved in each of the subsettings. So these are low settings, just so we can show in the example. We only have it on 30 seconds per frame. We're going to even knock that down to 5 seconds. And then now we randomize. And so here you can see phase 1, set the number you want, and we'll do 5. And then phase 2, we're going to render all the content that's in the folder. So once it generates, then you render it. And so now it bakes. And so we'll open the little folder so we can keep an eye on it. And then we kind of let it bake. And for the real project, we are currently working on baking over 16,000. So almost double what we need in order to give us space to do QA and make sure we got the best possible options and do any fixes we need to do before reveal. So you can imagine this with the render time from 5 seconds to actually 3 minutes times 16,000. And what's interesting is you're going to see in the little preview, they look like the hair is all misaligned and the character's looking sideways. That's just part of the process of the way the load and the fits all work. But you'll see when it goes through it at the end, when it does the actual render bits, that it sorts all that out. Okay, so now that the randomizer piece is finished, you can see all the scenes, it's going to move into the rendering part. So now it goes back through the list, goes back to the first of the scenes, loads that scene, loads all the attributes for that character, and then renders the final render of that character. And for those that don't know, a render is like a 3D photograph. So it goes from the kind of lower resolution version you work with in your viewport to the high resolution final version, which we call a render. And so you'll see the first render pop up in a second here. And now you can see it in the folder. And fast forward a little bit, and now you got your renders, and we can open those up and look at them, and you can see how your NFPs turned out. And that's how we make this collection.